This is my third time trying to film this video, so make sure you like and comment just for that. It's also ridiculously warm in here today. I don't know why. The window's open as much as it can be without you hearing everything, and I'm actually gonna melt. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk all about the struggle of being a photographer and having no studio access. I have never ever been lucky enough to work long term in a studio for any of my projects or just casual photo shoots. I've always had to work with what I've got around me, and I think over the years I've definitely learned some good tips and tricks. I've also taken advice from some blogs and videos, which I will link them all below when I mention them throughout this video. If you would like to know what I do to work without a studio, then make sure you keep on watching. Point number one, the easiest and probably the most obvious answer if you don't have a studio is to shoot outside. I can hear you all literally groaning because that is so obvious. Everyone's going to know that. But if you are shooting just for the fun of it, you don't have a set requirement, you just want to experiment with your camera, then this is such a fun idea. You get to explore beautiful new places in your area, you get to take really creative and fun shots. It gives you the experience of shooting obviously landscapes and obviously learning how to frame a model in an outside environment. This can also be really good at teaching you different camera settings. For example, if you've got a really cloudy or rainy day, you obviously need to change your camera settings to fit in with that so you don't get a really dull picture. However, if you do have to shoot portrait specific photographs that you do need a studio for, I do have tips, so don't click out just yet. Point number two, which is specifically for creating a studio effect, is using white sheets to basically white out an area like you would have in a studio. Nearly everyone has white bed sheets in their house, and all you need to do is pin them up against a wall, preferably a flat blank wall where there's no pictures, no canvases or no TVs on it, just a plain wall. Obviously make sure you get your parents' permission because you don't want to be sticking pins in a wall and then getting shot with eyes. Just, it's not worth it at all. Okay, there's just been a really big bang and I don't know what it was. Also, you can lay them out across the floor if you're doing full body shots, you get the full white version. So make sure all shadows, backlight, any objects that might be in the background or on the wall or on the floor. You could also use white duvets. These are obviously going to be much thicker. If you don't have them, you can invest in them. I think I've seen them in Primark for around £20, so it could be worth investing in that if you're going to be doing this quite often, just so you know you've got a set sheets and duvet set that you know is going to be pinned to the wall. It's going to have little holes in it all the time and you're not going to be wrecking your bedding or your parents' bedding. One thing you need to remember if you are using white sheets or a duvet is to make sure there is absolutely no creases at all, or it doesn't like sag a bit in the middle, just because when you take the pictures you will need to be using quite a lot of flash, and any shadows that come up from these little dips or creases. Oh my god, someone is banging and they're being so distracting. Hello, I'm just trying to film a video. Anyway, any of these little dips or creases are going to really stand out like a sore thumb, so you just need to make sure that it's completely flat and take a few test shots before getting into a full-blown photo shoot, because you're going to get really annoyed when you look back at the photos and see all these little shadows and creases and everything coming through, so just be wary of that. Point three actually links really closely with the last point, and that is specifically for if you are doing product or object photography. It could be really worth investing in a Lightbox. They are literally what it says on a tin. It is a white box filled with bright ass LED lights. The one I've got comes with lots of different background colours, so that if you are photographing an all white product you don't need to worry about it blending in completely with the background. I would be an amazing salesperson. I've really just completely sold this to you, a white box with different coloured backgrounds. You can get a lot of different sizes. I got a relatively small one because I don't do a lot of product photography, so if this is something you're really interested in, you can get a whole range of different sizes and different coloured backgrounds, so that could be worth doing. I'm going to link the one that I have down below. I'm not sponsored by Amazon. Please sponsor me though, Amazon, because poor student. On to point 4, that is using a reflector. A reflector is basically designed to help you manipulate light in a certain way. They are often used in studios to help reflect the light onto the model's face quite a lot, get the right shadows, get the right contour lines. Oh my god, someone's having a party downstairs, there's doors slamming, things being thrown about. I don't know what's happening at all. I personally do not own a reflector. I've never felt the need to have one, but it could be something really useful to you if you are going to be doing a lot of studio based or model photography. This is one I found on Amazon. It's not too expensive, it looks pretty decent, it's got really decent reviews. Like I said, I don't have one, but if this is something that you're interested in using, then here is an example. Again, not sponsored. Point number 6 is basically experimenting with different Photoshop techniques which will allow you to completely white out a background. This is slightly harder than the others and does take a little bit more time because you do have to master the skill if you want to get really decent professional looking photographs. But it's not like there's much else happening right now, so you have plenty of time to practice with this. There are so many videos on YouTube talking about how to do this. I am not amazing at this skill. I don't do it very often. A few times I have, they've not turned out amazing, but it does work really, really well if you don't have a choice, if you don't have any other way of getting a white background or a studio effect. I know that not everyone has access to Photoshop, unfortunately. It is currently free. Last time I checked, it was free for students, if this helps. There are obviously free editing softwares. One I used to use was GIMP. That was basically Photoshop. It was amazing, really good quality. So I would also recommend checking that out if you don't have access to Photoshop. It does the same. That is all the tips I have for you today. I hope some of these have been helpful for you, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, comment down below any other tips that you guys might have to create that studio effect in your home. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!